If vanilla means boring to you, you should probably try some better ice cream. Toss out whatever bland stuff is sitting in your freezer and try some of the options at the top of this list. Friendly's is an East Coast restaurant chain with locations concentrated in New England. The restaurant serves American comfort food classics, burgers, and most famously, ice cream sundaes. They serve so many ice cream sundaes that they created their own line of Friendly's ice creams, which are also sold in grocery stores regionally. There are even more flavors available in stores than on the restaurant menu. We bought a 1.5-quart container of the rich and creamy vanilla flavor, and we couldn't see what all of the fuss is about. The Friendly's vanilla ice cream doesn't actually contain any vanilla. The ingredients lists, quote, natural flavors, which probably accounts for what little flavor it actually has, but it really just tastes like sweet cold marshmallows. The ice cream uses stabilizers instead of eggs to keep it from melting too quickly or becoming icy, which isn't inherently a bad thing. But in this case, the stabilizers coat the inside of your mouth instead of comfortably melting on the tongue. The 2/3 of a cup serving size, a common serving size across almost all brands we sampled, weighs just 88 grams per serving, which is low and means you're buying a lot of air. On the upside, since you're mostly buying air, there are only 180 calories per serving. The 1.5-quart package is also one of the least expensive on the market, often costing less than $3, which is certainly a deal, but in this case, you're getting what you pay for.
You know what? It's easy to fix. I can help you with that.
What do you know about fixing ice cream machines, Higgins?
I went to DeVry for a year.
Oh, that's right.
I can fix anything with a plug.
Edy's has been around for nearly 100 years, so there's a good chance you've probably had a few scoops of it at some point. You may know it by the Dreyer's name, the original ice cream maker of the Dreyer-Edie duo. But since 1928, the names have been interchangeable. The brand has pioneered some of our favorite flavors, including Rocky Road and cookies and cream. So we were looking forward to giving the vanilla a try. The texture of the ice cream is smooth and milky and melts a little nicer in the mouth than the Friendly's vanilla ice cream. But it was still overly fluffy and lacked that bold vanilla flavor that we're looking for. The Edy's vanilla ice cream weighs just 85 grams per 2/3 of a cup serving, which is still pretty low and indicates a good deal of air. That slight difference makes a single serving only 140 calories, but doesn't lower the price of the ice cream. You can hardly walk into a convenience store in Pennsylvania without coming across Turkey Hill ice cream or bottled teas. They're a local brand since 1931 that's grown into a national company with products sold from coast to coast. A quart and a half of Turkey Hill vanilla ice cream cost us just a little less than the Edy's Dreyer's we'd tasted previously, and has roughly the same weight per serving and nutritional value. But we thought the flavor was a step up from what we'd tried so far. The ice cream softens up pretty quickly when you remove it from the freezer, so you won't have to wait long for a scoop when the craving hits. While the vanilla still isn't very strong, the dairy has a nice flavor to it, even a bit toasty, which we liked. This ice cream is ideal for serving a large crowd at a kid's birthday party, or for making a lot of milkshakes where you're probably going to add another flavor. But ultimately, just like the ice creams before it, if you're missing real vanilla and eggs in the ice cream, you're basically just getting a container of sweetened, stabilized, and frozen whipped cream. Ah, Halo Top, the answer to our comfort food sugar cravings without sacrificing our diet goals. Halo Top has designed a large selection of ice creams and popsicles built specifically with dietary needs in mind, including low-calorie, non-dairy, and keto-friendly options. We didn't really know what to expect when tasting the vanilla bean ice cream from Halo Top, given the very specific idea we have about what makes a good vanilla ice cream. But we were pleasantly surprised. Part of the decision to choose Halo Top includes managing your expectations about what it's reasonably going to taste like. We were looking for a real vanilla taste, at least a hint of milkiness, and no fake chemical flavors. With those standards in mind, Halo Top's vanilla bean ice cream met all of our expectations. And at roughly 280 calories per tub, there's zero guilt in eating as much as you want, where other ice creams will run you over 200 calories for only 2/3 of a cup. With that said, this isn't a perfect ice cream. It's milky but not creamy. It contains egg yolks which contribute to the flavor, structure, and nutritional value of the ice cream, and real chunks of vanilla bean. It seems more like skim milk being held together with enough stabilizers to keep it from turning into a giant milk ice cube. Even with that said, we'd take a bite of this vanilla bean ice cream over the flavorless over-churned options. And between cookies? Yes please. We think that if there were ever an ice cream to skate the true middle ground between industrially produced, nostalgically comforting, and good quality, it's the Breyers Natural Vanilla Ice Cream. We were also thrilled to see that it's available by the pint, as well as 1.5 and 2-quart sizes. The pint cost less than $3 before taxes, which we thought was a great deal. And in a side-by-side taste test with the next ice cream on our list, it was difficult to say which one was the better option. Ultimately, the Breyers scored just a little bit lower because it doesn't claim to contain any actual vanilla, vanilla, only natural flavor. Strangely enough, there are flecks that resemble vanilla beans in the ice cream, so we're going to give Breyers the benefit of the doubt and assume that the quote natural flavor means vanilla bean, but we just can't say for sure. What sets this ice cream above the competition is not the weight by volume or calories per serving, which is the same as its previous competitors, but the texture of the ice cream. It isn't stabilized with eggs, but a single vegetable gum. It's a risky move for an ice cream maker to use only one stabilizer, but this one keeps the ice cream smooth without getting icy and holds the aeration of the ice cream nicely. Additionally, the ice cream melts in your mouth without lingering too long, which is a big plus.
Cheers.
Cheers.
How good is that?
You can taste it.
Taste it. It's like my tongue at a baby with a sunrise.
You may or may not have heard of Blue Bunny, although it's the 8th best-selling ice cream brand in the US, according to Statista, beating out high-end competitors like Talenti and Tillamook. We could only find it in one of the 8 grocery stores we went to in search of ice cream, but we were pleased when we did. Owned by the Wells brand and based in Le Mars, Iowa, they've been making ice cream for nearly 100 years. While Blue Bunny offers several different styles of vanilla ice cream, we were able to pick up a container of vanilla bean for our taste test. This ice cream is definitely a little bit higher quality than some of the other large brands. You can instantly tell by looking at the serving size, which packs a slightly higher weight per serving, and the ingredient list. It's about as simple as an ice cream ingredient list gets, with milk, cream, sugar, egg yolks, natural flavors, vanilla extract specifically, and vanilla beans. You can't deny the convenience that Whole Foods brings to eating organically, and many people find the 365 store brand to be comparable to some of the more expensive name brand organic foods available. A pint of the organic vanilla bean ice cream from Whole Foods cost us a couple of dollars less than some of the big name high-end pints, which we liked. But other than being organic, most of the ingredients listed were similar to the ice creams we've tried up to this point, with the exception of vanilla extract and organic vanilla bean, which is clearly included in the ingredients. It's even clear to see the flecks of vanilla bean seeds in the ice cream. While it's not egg-based, the 365 ice cream has a little more body to it than some of the other ice creams. This is the point in our rankings where we really start to see the quality of ice creams take off and unique flavors emerge to set the competitors apart. Talenti is a relatively new brand, having launched in 2003 as one of the first widely available artisanal gelato brands in US grocery stores. Gelato is an Italian-style ice cream that uses more milk and less cream than traditional European and American ice creams, as well as less air in the churning process. It's known for being rich, dense, and creamy, all traits that Talenti exemplifies. The Madagascan vanilla bean gelato is on the sweeter side, but the vanilla flavor is obvious and welcoming. Interestingly, this gelato does not include eggs, but the texture doesn't suffer because of it. It also weighs a hefty 129 grams per 2/3 of a cup serving, which will run you 260 calories. While we're here for the flavor, we'll admit that this treat may be pushing it for some people. You undoubtedly already know Ben & Jerry's, but most likely for one of the iconic flavor combinations the Vermont-based company produces. Cherry Garcia and Half-Baked are just 2 of the dozens of unique flavors Ben & Jerry's makes, but they also make vanilla. All of the fanfare and spectacle is stripped away for this ice cream, with just one delicate flavor to make or break it. On the spectrum of vanilla intensity, we'd consider this vanilla ice cream to be clean and crisp with moderate intensity. For once, it seems like Ben & Jerry's isn't trying to overwhelm us with a particular flavor. The ice cream is milky with a nice custard flavor, but doesn't melt immediately in the mouth. Instead, it coats the mouth a little bit, which we can only attribute to the addition of stabilizers. It's certainly better than most of the cheaper ice creams we tasted. Since 2008, Van Leeuwen has rapidly expanded from an ice cream truck driving around NYC to a company that now ships and sells ice cream nationwide, with ice cream shops on both coasts and many places in between. You may have even heard about the new Kraft macaroni and cheese ice cream they're creating. Van Leeuwen also has a wide selection of non-dairy and vegan ice creams available, so we were curious how the Van Leeuwen vanilla ice cream would set itself apart from the competition, and we had our answer from the very first taste. The ice cream is billed as, quote, French ice cream, and on the side of the container they explain what that means. The container reads, eggs, plenty of them. Turns out when you use twice as many egg yolks as standard ice cream, you have to call it French ice cream. It's rich, it's thick, it's indulgent. As a matter of fact, a 2/3 of a cup serving will run you a whopping 290 calories. Instead of Madagascan vanilla beans, Van Leeuwen also claims to use Tahitian vanilla beans, which many vanilla enthusiasts consider a better bean for cold and frozen desserts, since it's got a more delicate and floral flavor profile, which can be lost in warm and more complex desserts, according to Nielsen Massey. Technically, Stonyfield Organic doesn't make ice cream, it makes frozen yogurts. But we're including the vanilla for a few reasons. It's widely available in many grocery stores across the country, it's still classically dairy-based, and it's one of the few frozen yogurt brands easily accessible in pints instead of going to a froyo shop. And it tastes great. As a matter of fact, it tastes so good that you'll be tempted to set up a frozen yogurt dessert bar in your own kitchen, with as many toppings as you can lay your hands on without the shock of how much your cup weighs when you get to the checkout like you would in a froyo shop. It's also got a lovely texture and taste, which isn't really a surprise when you look at the ingredients. It's got the same lineup of ingredients that other ice creams have, but organic. One of our testers even said that it reminded them of eating frozen yogurt at TCBY growing up and wanted to cover the whole thing with rainbow sprinkles, gummy bears, and worms, totally optional. We also like that this frozen yogurt has the weight per 2/3 of a cup serving of higher quality ice cream, but the low 170 calories per serving of ice cream with more air in it. With all of that said, we realize that frozen yogurt isn't for everyone, and you may be looking for more neutral ice cream without the taste of those yogurt cultures.
Now, if you need an extra shirt or anything, they're gonna be in there because these seem to shrink. Oh, you know what, girl? I can't get enough of this stuff.
While Häagen-Dazs is considered a premium ice cream brand, it's not exclusive or hard to find. It can be found everywhere from gas stations and corner stores to grocery stores and specialty food shops, and it's popular for a reason. The vanilla ice cream has an incredibly straightforward ingredient list, including cream, milk, sugar, egg yolks, and vanilla extract. It doesn't get more essential than that. The flavor is rich and creamy, with a beautiful milky flavor that doesn't taste watered down or overly sweetened. The only downside is that the 2/3 of a cup serving size will run you about 320 calories according to the nutrition label. Keep in mind that this is a premium ice cream that hasn't been pumped full of air, so 2/3 of a cup weighs in at 129 grams, which is about 50% more actual product than some of the ice creams at the bottom of this list. We like that this ice cream is so easy to find, reliably made with high-quality ingredients, and even an average price among higher-end pints. The vanilla flavor is clearly there, but delicate and balanced for people who don't want to be bombarded with the sweet perfume of a lot of vanilla. It's at this point in our rankings that the ice creams are starting to ramp up, both in vanilla flavor and quality of the ice cream. If you're in the market for an ice cream produced with authentic ingredients at high standards that's still light as a cloud on the tongue and packed with a smooth vanilla flavor, Tillamook Old Fashioned Vanilla Ice Cream is going to take you where you want to go. You don't have to sacrifice quality for the overly aerated milk marshmallow-style ice cream from some of the other industrial producers, but just know that it's going to come with a little bit of a price tag, as Tillamook sometimes costs a little more than its competitors. Tillamook ice cream is also primarily sold in 48-ounce tubs, so you're going to be committing to a larger container than a 16-ounce pint, but we don't think you're going to regret having a little more of this ice cream around. Bluebell is arguably one of the best ice creams made in the US today, although you have to live or travel through one of the only 22 states it's available in to try it. There are a few different vanilla ice cream flavors in the Bluebell lineup, but the uncontested favorite is the homemade vanilla. Reminiscent of hand-cranked ice cream that your grandparents probably made in their backyard, the homemade vanilla ice cream is milky and crisp, with a moderate vanilla flavor and heaps of nostalgia. The ice cream company is based in Brenham, Texas, and handles everything from the ice cream production to direct delivery to stores, which is why you won't be able to find it in New York or California. With that said, you can order the ice cream online if you're interested in bulk buying. While we adore this vanilla ice cream, it loses points for not being as widely available as other brands. You may not be familiar with McConnell's ice cream, but when you do come across it, we recommend giving it a taste. The ice cream makers have been churning ice cream in Santa Barbara, California for 70 years, and now ship ice cream all over the US to grocery stores and homes alike. Without ever having tasted McConnell's ice cream before, we picked up a pint of the vanilla bean ice cream. The vanilla flavor is nice and bold in this ice cream. The texture is smooth and creamy without being overly fluffy, although it was a little on the sweeter side for our tastes. So we tossed a few scoops of the vanilla ice cream into a blender with some milk and made a vanilla milkshake, which came out perfect. If you're in the market for bold vanilla ice cream, look no further than Graeter's Madagascar Vanilla Bean Ice Cream. With the very first bite, we were blown away by how much vanilla they packed into this pint. Even Bobby Flay is a fan. One of the oldest ice cream producers on this list, Graeter's has been making ice cream since 1870 and has remained a family business ever since. There's so much vanilla in this ice cream that it might actually be too much for some people. And that's alright, because there are a lot of great ice creams to choose from on this list. But for a real vanilla lover who relishes in the sweet, floral, and deeply fragrant notes of high-quality vanilla, it doesn't get better than Graeter's. The ice cream itself is noticeably sweet, accented by the heavy vanilla, but also soft and creamy. According to the website, the ice cream is still handcrafted in small batch 2.5-gallon French pots, a method that most producers don't use since ice cream can't be made in large volumes quickly. This ice cream is a little more difficult to find, but we were able to lay our hands on it at Whole Foods, and it's also available to order through Graeter's website. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about your favorite sweet treats are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.